All right, hey everybody. Oh, let me turn that down. Hey everybody. DayTraderRockStar here for the high probability watch list. A review of the markets, stocks to buy next week. Everything is jam-packed into this special watch list. I actually already did this watch list at my office today, and when I tried to save it, it saved with no audio. So it was about an hour long. I'm not going to make this one now an hour long now, because the reason I was recording that one earlier in the day is I wanted to capture the capitulation in the market early in the morning, do some trades, do some live trades and stuff. So that didn't really work out. So I'm going to review the I want to redo the video right now and now compress everything, because I know what everything was on the video. It'll be much easier and much smoother. Anyway, we look back at the market today. Well, where do we even start? What a week. Historically, this ranks up there with like the flash crash for me, and definitely ranks up there. It's exciting. I mean, it could be painful, and I'm sure people are holding stocks and they got run over on these things. But we were able to hedge a little into this pullback, so we were able to kind of counterbalance the longs. And then today we really started going to work. So let's take a look at the market. I'm all fired up. It's Friday, and I'm excited for next week. It's like, wow! Did you see the bounce that we had at the end of the day? This is what it looks like, and this is really pretty much the coronavirus and a little of the Bernie Sanders, situation going into the election. The combination of both of these makes it very cloudy, and a lot of people are actually giving some credit to Bernie Sanders bringing this market down, as the odds of him becoming the Democratic nominee. So that's a whole other video for another story. So we started selling off. Then we had the coronavirus. We had Bernie winning in Nevada, and that day the market dropped 1,000 points. Then we continued to, what we did was we shorted into the end of the day, or shorted into the first bounce. These things have when you have a huge down day, historical in nature, very rarely you jumping back up off the, you might get a bounce, but very rarely does that bounce get past that 50%, 50% way back range here. And that's exactly where that one came into it before we started heading back down, closed on the lows, then we gapped down, moved around, closed on the lows. And then today was the important day. We broke down way under the 200 period moving average. And also there was one final gap I was watching down here. And that level came in right around this 43 level, 29.43. And we blew right through that. What is all this good for? Knowing this, nothing. I mean, this is a black swan event, basically. This was a black swan event. All the talking heads are out there. Everyone's coming out of the woodwork, going lower, this is BS on the coronavirus, or this is the beginning of pandemic, and then we could go much lower. Everything stopped. I mean, no one really knows, because we're going through we're going through this for the first time. But if you look back to history in the market, and I'm just going to go off the top of my head, but I did read a nice tweet today talking about the different things that have shaken the market in the past. Everything from Ebola to SARS to, debt ceiling to financial crisis to flash crash, and everything comes in and will set this market back a bit. But it's not, you know what? You got to take advantage of these opportunities. You don't know if there's any further downside. I don't know, what tomorrow brings. But history has told us, and especially right now. I mean, this market's going to go back up as the administration continues to really focus on, their platform. The Trump platform is basically the economy. This is not going to stand going into the election. They're not going to let this thing go down that much further. Anyway, have a huge reversal candle today. Huge reversal. We sold off. We ended up taking a lot of trades. So this is what the part of the video I'm going to talk about is what what I traded. And this is not even really a big move. I mean, honestly, we didn't get back really into positive territory. We chopped around. Right at the end of the day, we kind of got back up very close to the highs, but nothing really, it's just, it sure did change my account. A lot of things that we got into rallied. So I'm happy about that, and we'll talk about those stocks next. But if we look at the time frame, what I'd like to do is do a market radar right now. And the market radar is just looking at the technicals of the market. The daily, it's oversold, all right? And we have a reversal candle, and we closed that gap. So I'm seeing a lot of positives on the daily. The hourly, pretty embedded to the downside. We would consider this still oversold, and possibly a nice divergence here too. I know on the futures it was a divergence. I know Paul was calling for that today, or pointed out a divergence on the 60-minute time frame. This 60-minute hasn't rotated back up. I can't tell you the last time I remember it being down for so long, the 60, without making its rotation. So I'm sure we're going to get that rotation next week. We'll get we'll see how strong this market is. We're still holding off the 20-period moving average, and here comes the wild card. This is the weekly chart. Well, let's actually go back to the 60-minute here for a second. The 60-minute almost has the appearance of a bear flag. Now, I hate to see that. I'm just going to call it like I see it. But you have this nice move down, and then you have this consolidation back up, this little channel back up, which is that kind of flag. Like that, and you see what I'm doing here, right? So it's kind of like this bear flag. We didn't get up to the 20-period moving average yet, which is 3,000. That's 50 S&P points away. That's not in this market environment. No, I think 3,000 is got to be a pretty good goal. We're going to talk about where we're going to look for this bounce to go to. The major levels are, and Carter Worth was on Fast Money Guys, and he's a really good technical chartist. I follow him for years. We have a very similar outlook and a way of reading the markets. And he was discussing, not as much as how much further we have to go down, but how much of a top now this is going to become. It's going to be very hard to get through the highs because there's a lot of bag holders up here. A lot of people that have stock that got in thinking that, and all of a sudden they're stuck up here. So they're going to be selling. There's going to be a lot of sellers up here as the market gets back up there. Now I want to show you a chart. I've been breaking down the chart. This is it right here. This is a chart I put on the front page of the site at Day Trading Radio, DayTraderRadio.com. I think I'm going to put this video out to the public because it's going to have a lot of good stuff in it. And you can see there's a lot of lines in here. But as you know from my trend lines and my analysis, when it comes to the charts, I really put in some good trend lines. So this top trend line, you can see a major pivot there, a major pivot there, a major pivot there. And I kind of made this one in red because we actually have a parallel line down here. We had a capitulation move back here. We broke back up into it. Some other channels here. But look where we are. We're kind of in no man's land. The only thing I'm looking here is this 1, 2, 3 pattern. Maybe call this capitulation back into the pattern. And the next time the price touches that channel line, it is a buy. So that it would be our next target down, really, is that 27.16 area, maybe 27. Give or take how many points. I'm not breaking this down and putting it under the microscope, pulling out the protractors and stuff. But I'm saying there is a possibility. If you're technically going to see some more selling, you have the 200 period moving average on the weekly right down here, and by that time you might actually see these two things kind of get down, or be in that right zone right there that you could actually kind of double up support here. The other thing I don't really like is that the weekly is just turning over, and I look at the 9.3 and the 9.3 and the 14.3. And you can see that this must be the 9.3 on the bottom here. That's correct. This is the 9.3 on the bottom. Normally I put the 9 on top and the 14 and go speed the fastest to slowest. But in this case, the 14's up here, the 9's down here. You can tell that because the 9's already is moving down here a little bit further. But this is hanging up here. I mean, consider the move down. We're actually really hanging up here. And I was thinking that this might be a kind of a bearish signal, that it's going to take a longer time before we get oversold. The last time we had a weekly oversold level was back end of 2018, right? When I had that Christmas crash, and that was the last time we had a weekly get down underneath that oversold level. We got close to it over here in June. There wasn't much of a pullback, and then we got close again maybe in July, but not much, not a big pullback. This one though, look at you could compare the move here, like a 10 to 14% move versus maybe not that much, maybe a 4% move, but we don't get that move in the stochastics. So when I thought about this and I looked at it again today, especially using the trading view charts, I could actually start to read this into being a bullish indicator that we're still embedded up here, and we're probably going to stay up here. I'm getting a little bit more bullish on that 14.3, the way it's holding up here. I would expect the momentum would have shifted much more. It would have driven down hard. And I'm seeing the momentum here not really giving in. But the price here definitely gave in. We'll see how that plays out. You don't see this scenario play out too many times in the market, so it's hard to, I'm just giving you my thoughts so I could actually follow it. For the next time we get a situation like that, we could refer back to it and say, you know what? That's right. It never really gave up that 80 line. We pulled back. In some cases, this could be considered almost a big flag out of a huge channel. One more thing I want to show you about this chart, and that is this band here, this kind of orange, yellow band down here. We've come down here, put in some decent candlesticks. We have a band of reversal candles here. Not big candles, but you can see we came down. You can also call this the 200 period moving average. But even if we don't call it the 200 because we already we actually broke through that. But we could see that the candles are really in this range, have pushed back up above. So I just wanted to point that out. I did see some information over here that kind of made me look at this zone, and I wanted to see where we are basically compared to back here. Sorry if you hear my dogs in the background. Like I said, I had to do this at my house, redo the video because I lost the audio. The audio didn't go, and it was during the crash. It was during everything. Anyway, I was buying stocks, and I was posting them all, so everyone got the alerts in the room. For those out there who might not be familiar with day trading radio, when we broadcast, you get a dashboard as a member, and all my positions that I take get posted right here real time, and you get to see the screen. This is Paul's screen right now, and there's a lot of indicators. We have a squawk, a new squawk. We have a music channel. We have the tick strike player. We have all our HPS setups, which are the setups that we trade. Oh, actually, that's the forum. Let's go back over here. That's the forum. We go to the HPS list right there. And this is the HPS list. And these are the stocks that we chart out and we put alerts to, and those alerts get attached to your account. So when they hit their targets or when they hit their triggers, targets and stops, everything gets sent to you instant, via email or text message. And there's a key on the bottom. If it hits green or it hits its trigger or entry, or I take the trade, or the computer generated area is triggered, it'll send you an automatic email telling you that the buy trigger has been hit or a short trigger has been hit. If this is L, it means long. S's would be shorts. If it hits the gold yellow, means it hit its target, and you get an email saying, please consider looking at the trade and taking profits at this point. Basically, if it hits the red, that means it stopped out before it hit its profit. This one just happened to, look at this. This is kind of an interesting one because this was an old one, and I left it on there because I like the channels that I put together. I love these charts that I put together. So I wanted to see this level. So what happened was I was hoping for this to originally break down and come down to a 1, 2, 3 pattern. Instead, it actually bounced perfectly off this underlying trend line, which is great. It bounced off the trend line, moved up, and then just got hit down. So this is automatically set up. I can't change that unless I redo it. When this thing bounced up, well, I want to show you right now. Look at that. Look at this bounce. It bounced up. And then the coronavirus grabbed it, because who the hell is going out to eat during the coronavirus outbreak here in America? So all the restaurant stocks got hit. Anything that deals with going out of your house, I think, got hit. And we came down into our zone and we just went right through it. But, you know, the truth is it's probably a good level right now. I mean, but that's kind of a BS stop out, because I wasn't really paying attention to this one. I'm not in this, but now that I have it up there, I'm going to just look at it fast. DRI. It's a different way of looking at it. And you can see I even have that channel over here. So this is kind of a capitulation of the channel. And when you have a capitulation of the channel, 9 times out of 10 down the road, probably less than 10 days, you're going to start trading back into the channel. But this already gave you a pretty decent candlestick. And we're oversold on that. Let's just take a look at the weekly chart. This is a new one. And again, the same thing. We're not getting those fast rollovers yet on the weekly. For whatever reason, this thing turns into a pandemic, and people, you know, I'm not thinking like, I'm kind of blowing it off, but I might look like the fool in the long run. But I think it's, you know, the media has grabbed a hold of this just like anything else. A couple months ago, it was just all impeachment. Now it's all coronavirus. You know, bad news sells. And we never had this type of tracking before. We never had this type of media coverage. We never had this type of, you know, just a situation where for people to make money, they need to get ad revenue and stuff. They need people to watch TV. So, of course, if something's out there and they can make a news story out of it, they're going to be throwing it down here. And there's so many different ways of now, you know, just tracking everything. So you're hearing about this everywhere. I keep on saying, if this thing wasn't named Corona, we probably would have already forgotten about it. Just because it's such an easy name to remember. If it was like, you know, it's like, you know, one of these great words that I can never pronounce, or it's just a number, Z694321. Virus Z69244321. Yeah, how fast are we going to be holding on to that and talking about it? These people will be tired of that after 2 days. They already shortened the Corona down to COVID. Anyway, Darden restaurants, I mean, oversold. If this thing continues, these are already priced in. I think the worst case, you know, they've given back a year's worth of gains. You know, it's just I have a feeling that most of these have priced in something. So let's take a look at the stocks we got into today. All right. So other than trading the SPY and using the tradeometer, and the tradeometer is launching, not the tradeometer, the Rockbot is launching. So if you go to the page, there's a page leading to the Rockbot. So I'll talk more about that on Monday live on the show. I'm just getting that out to people now, so be patient with me. All right, so Darden Restaurants actually kind of interesting. I didn't look at Carnival Cruise Line, CCL, or Royal Caribbean. I'm just curious to look now. That actually bounced today. You know, if anything, I mean, this I am concerned about, Carnival Cruise Line. There's always the norovirus on the cruise lines. There's always people getting sick on this. It's not like this is anything different. And I just have no faith in the cruise lines. Even though I love cruising, I would think twice until I was really satisfied that there was no crap. You know, if maybe we could better clean things and there would be less chance of getting sick on a cruise ship. I don't like the cruise ship industry right now. All right, but what I do like, and this is a stock that we were in probably 3 or 4 months ago, and we got out close to the top, MDT, Medtronics. We got out of right up here, probably around 118 to 120. And I haven't looked back until today, And I looked back today and I'm saying, all right, you know what? This is a stock I used to like. I'm forcing myself to get into some things that I should get in. So I look back here. I can see the highs here. It's the 2018 high here. Finally broke through it, tested it, broke through it, tested it. Okay, now we're right back down to it. So we're back to this. And I did? I got stock on a lot of these things. I bought some stock so I could hold these. These are first positions that I'm kind of just. Let me see if I could go back to the dashboard here. And again, you'll probably see earlier in the day. First of all, I bought a couple calls too. I bought some calls. I bought these MESs. And then I bought 50 shares of MDT, just starting off, just getting, feeling okay down here. I bought 50 Schlumberger. I bought 50 Roku. I bought 20 shares of Apple. So we're going to go over those charts right now. But you could already know what type of stocks I'm looking at. So where would I get out of this? I mean, back to the 200 period moving average. I mean, that would be just a nice trade. If this thing disappears, and things are back to normal, I would hold on to this. I would just hold on to this. If things are still now in a new phase of very choppiness, and we're trading these, I could see this. We're in good position here. I do like the setup here, especially because it's the support line. We're coming back to the breakout line. So MDT, I'm in it. Like I mentioned, Apple, first time, long time owning shares. Picked it up off the 200 period moving average. Thank you. It's up 10 points already. Those alerts went out. What was that alert anyway? I think I went. Let me see what that was. I even sent that out to everyone else. Picked up 261 at 10:12 this morning. 261. I picked up Apple. All right. That's not. I'm not. I limped in there. I limped in. But when things are capitulating like that and selling hard, your idea is not to just get rolled over. I didn't know where it was going at the point, so I said, all right, let me get in 20 shares here. But I think I also bought some calls too, so I got the calls also. But you saw that price, right? 61. So that was right around here. Yeah, right in this area right here. Well, it was 10 o'clock. So it was right around. It's right here. I got it. I remember it because it came back up, and then boom. And this is where it is now. I mean, it's really, it's up 10 points, but it doesn't look that much on the chart. But it does look impressive there. And Apple, just think about it. You know what's going to be big for Apple? Is when they come out with their VR glasses. They're either augmented reality glasses or the virtual reality glasses. I know they're working on it. Another big product for them, it would be that. And like the watch and the wearables and stuff. There's something else coming down the pipeline of Apple. And getting it down here off the 200 period moving average, unless this, the world goes into a zombie apocalypse, this is looking pretty good right now. So I did limp into Apple. Now, what if Apple makes it down to 240? I pick up another 50 shares. So I'm not worried about these positions right now. This is a good level to be in. Boeing, picked up Boeing today. And again, same thing. Oversold, but Boeing hung in. I mean, Boeing basically sold off more because of the coronavirus than it did from its own issues. I mean, it's honestly, it sold from $320 or $340, 25, 40, like $65 it sold off. More than that. How about that? Maybe a little bit more than that. And then during this whole crap, whenever there was bad news, it barely sold off. So this got to look really good to some people. It looks good to me, and I think after hours it actually ran. So look here, at 4 o'clock it closed. It actually ran up after hours. I think it ran up another 10 points. We're very close to it. It closed like right here at 4 o'clock. It's 74. It got up to 82. 8 points higher, and then pulled back to 80. So overall, plus 6 after hours. Take it. We'll take that. Schlumberger, Apple, MDT. The Schlumberger. Deep Throat keeps on telling me about Schlumberger. I am finally stepping in here. Finally stepping in. And it felt good. It felt good. It felt safe today. It was a good volume. I mean, it just felt like the right level to get in on this turd. 120 down to 27. I think we're set up to go up here next week, big time. OXY came out with the earnings. You know what? It didn't really destroy it or anything. It actually reversed into it and then ended up having a good day. So all these oil and gas stocks are actually all primed, very primed up here. Oxy off the lower trend line. Schlumberger, I mean, all of these are primed for a move up. How far up? I don't know. I mean, the last time we had a move up in Oxy, a decent move up, it was last December. Let me see if I could actually put a, measure this out. I wonder if I can measure it on here. Well, I can. So it was up about 23%, which is 9 points. Yeah, about 9 points. That would bring us to 41. 9 points would bring us to 41, which would be fine for me. I love it. I like the Oxy. I like the Schlumberger. Right down here. I know it's not the best sector to be in, but technically speaking, everything here is showing up for a bounce. Schlumberger. I didn't look at ExxonMobil. I'm sure that would fall into the same category here. This is a capitulation move out of a channel. 9 times out of 10, we see this move right back up into the channel. So any of these look good. And very small entries. Spread the wealth around. Spread it around. You know, buy some MDT. Buy some Schlumberger. Buy some Apple. Boeing down here. Merck, which I didn't buy more of because I'm super disappointed in this thing got, but you know what? It bounced a little. We'll see what happens. Another channel breakdown, capitulation move, coronavirus. You know, what do you like to see come back hard, and but this was kind of disappointing. I'm going to go back to the MDT for a second. Again, like the reversal candle, like the breakout here. Becker, I think it's Becken Dickinson, BD. Is it BDK? Let me see. I forget the name of that. Becken BDX, here it is. This is another one of those medical instruments. Usually a good company, but it did get hit. It got hit here on earnings. It popped a little, pulled back. Now it gapped down. Again, this is probably a lot of these quality names are going to continue to move higher. This has been, but I'm not in this one. I did pick up some more AUPH today. Going out to January 20 calls I picked up. Now, technically speaking, this is a good level. I don't, there's a gap resistance back here, or actually gap support back here at $14. I would just kind of be just pissed, kind of upset if this just drifted down to 14, just to kind of be a pain in the butt. So what I'm doing is I'm going out further because I do believe there's good news coming down the road on this. Partnerships, another trial, their eye drop trial is supposed to be doing really well. But that's not supposed to be done by the end of the year. So I picked up another 5 calls. To be fair about the AUPH, consider we went through the worst week in the markets, like the second worst week in history. This is not really pulling back that much, actually. I mean, look at it. It's just hanging around their 50-period moving average, way up to 200. It's acting fine. It's just that it's not moving. And it won't move until we have the next catalyst, or we get close to that catalyst and we start to see buyers coming in. One interesting thing, I didn't really get the chance to talk about it on the radio today because I was off the mic, but I was saying, watch those coronavirus stocks. When they start giving it up, then the market's probably going to pop, or, at the same time. And sure enough, look at Clorox today. Clorox actually was hanging in there pretty good. They must have had some news. But I just noticed all the coronavirus-related stocks did get very, very volatile and traded down today. I mean, I made some phone calls the other day, and I said, you know what, you still holding that CODX? I said I would sell it. I haven't looked at it. And you know what? I don't know if they did or not, but I would be out of all these. And I was looking at Lake as a short yesterday. I never did it but that would have been a great short at the open today. Oh, great short at the open. ADP. Is it ADP? No, not ADT. It's APT. I forget which one that is. APT, I think it is, right? Alpha Pro Tech. Same thing. Face mask. It went from a couple bucks, $4 to $40. Damn. I should have been on these a little bit more, but they were some of these were very hard to short too. They were very hard to short, but those, and again, you could get blown out of the water too. I mean, if this thing does catch on, and some of these stocks could squeeze. It doesn't mean it has to come back. If there's enough controlling interest in the stock to hold it up here, force your hand, this could easily continue to short squeeze. But this was blown out of proportion. These are all blown out of proportion. I just decided to look at Waste Management, another one that I've been following and traded. We've traded this one off of this lower trend line. And guess where it is? It's back underneath there. That was our breakout. This was our pullback area that we were trading. It's amazing that we're right back down to that level right now. That looks like an opportunity too. And I didn't concentrate on this one today, but that is a good one. That is a nice one. I cannot believe how far that came back down. Boy, these stocks just got wrecked. You think about Waste Management, what does that have to do with the coronavirus? I don't know. All these got taken down pretty good. All right, well, we come to the last segment here before I get on. Just to remind you again, the Rockbot tradeometer for the lifetime upgrades. Take advantage of that. Go to DayTraderRadio.com. You'll see a link to the Rockbot. Check it out. See how you like it. It's running now pretty much every day on Day Trading Radio as a view only. We're going to start adding that the code so you have the opportunity to run these on your machines. So I'm working through that process right now. And the other thing is, I want to make a prediction here. We're going to talk about when is this going to end? When is this going to die out? Where does the market bounce from here? We are coming into the weekend. It's going to be difficult. I already see a news item crossing right now. Another confirmed case out of California. I just noticed another maybe potential community spread virus, and there could be some more coming out over the weekend. And there's a big candle today to trade back into before really putting it in the base. So sure, there could easily get a gap down. That's why I'm looking for Tuesday to have that reversal. We're going to call it turnaround Tuesday. I wouldn't mind seeing a more downside on Monday. I wouldn't mind it. I mean, that would set us up nicely on a Tuesday. It's an old school term turnaround Tuesday. So that's what I'm looking at. Hard to predict what happens Monday. If we do have some selling going into Monday and we close down Monday, I want to be a buyer early Tuesday, maybe even Monday evening. All right, so that's it. Let's close it at that. And again, quality names on our list for next week. The scalping has been good. The moves have been big moves, 10-point moves in a few minutes. So keep safe out there. And I'll talk to everyone soon. See you in the markets on Monday, but the futures will be up on Sunday.